Commissioner Wynn, would you like to say something on the amendment?
Yes, sir, I would. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I concur with the amendment in the fact that the Mayor Pro Tem seemed to focus on one area of the voting legislation that's out there now being considered by our state legislature. So, I mean, and I disagree with having us lose control of the Board of Elections locally and what it does. However, I may support other legislation regarding voting rights that are out there. And so the "and" part of this amendment still includes us saying that we don't want them to vote for things that may limit voters' rights. I really do support the amendment, particularly regarding what Mayor Pro Tem discussed, but I'm not sure what other things are out there. I do support some things that are out there. I do know there's other voting legislation being considered, and I support some of that. So I'm kind of torn of what to do. If we could separate those and just say that amendment, I agree with the amendment from Commissioner Howell and just that part of it. That's where I stand on that, because I do think there are other voting legislation going on that I do agree with. I'd like to move that we separate the amendment from the other particular resolution being considered here.
Okay, so that's a motion to divide the question. It requires a second. And if
Got a second by Commissioner Jones.
Okay, and I'm sorry, I got
yeah, I can't hear you.
it's a motion to divide the question, and if it carries with 5 votes, it's a 5-vote majority, then you would have effectively two separate resolutions.
Yeah.
One with the usurpation language, and then one with the reducer limit language. It would be separated. So that's the motion in a second. That's what this vote would be on.
Okay.
Just to separate them.
Okay. We have a motion and a second. On that particular item alone, we'll take a vote, and it must receive 5 to move forward. Otherwise, we're going to fall back to the amendment.
Right.
Does everybody understand that? Okay. Commissioner Watkins?
It may help if the sponsor of the amendment could, specify in what ways that you're in favor of disenfranchising voters. If maybe we're all in favor of it, and we can just quickly amend the thing. So that would be helpful to me.
Are you speaking to me, Commissioner?
Yes, yes.
I think there are things out there that I agree with we should do. I think that there's things in the election process right now that need to be reconsidered. You know, when I started voting at the age of 18, which was a long time ago, we had an election day. Now we have election weeks and months and weekends and Sundays, and I just think that there's a lot of things that go on now with our elections that I don't agree with, and I think we need to bring it back in to where it used to be. I think Election Day should be a holiday. That would help things. But there are other things out there. You can vote if you want to. You can get an ID, a picture ID to vote if you want to. Have to have a picture ID to drive. Have to have a picture ID to enter some kind of, to buy tickets sometimes, to buy alcohol if I want. But I just think that there are things out there that are not suppressing voters. I think that if you really want to vote, you can vote. You can find a way to vote. And back in the day, the only absentee ballots, as I recall, were if you were out of the country, maybe serving the country, or out of the country for business, or maybe some kind of health condition. Now you just don't want to come in there to vote. There are ways to get in there to vote, plenty of ways to get in there to vote. So I think there are other things out there, and I don't have a list of them to give you, that I would not want to vote for right now. I like the fact that we want to take this out because I agree that we should have local control over our Board of Elections. I just want this commission to say, listen, let's just separate them. You can keep this same wording as the second resolution, but then do the other resolution in regards to the one that Mayor Pro Tem was talking about. That's what I want to do. You can still have the other one and vote for it.
All right, we're going to confine our conversation now only to that second undivided question, parliamentary-wise. So that's the discussion